Hi, hope you are doing fine. Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are. From this place that I am in right now, this early, bright and fresh morning, it is around 7:30 and I can enjoy the scene. If you can hear the birds whistling here and there, the scene is good. There is a lot of serenity outside here in the greens. And I was begging of your short time, only 10 minutes of your time. If you can pause whatever you are doing and listen to me have some subtle monologue, which I believe will change the perspective of how you view life, or will make you learn something that you've not learned or that you have never had good time to listen to. Today morning, very early in the morning, I was going through certain books that I always like reading, and I picked one book which attracted my eyes, and I had to go through it one more time. I've gone through it for several times before. That book was the Bible. For Christians, you understand what I mean. It does not mean that this scripture that I read today cannot be useful to people from other religions like Muslims, Buddhists, or whichever other religion. Because personally, I've always essentially taken religion as just another form of education. I've never taken it so personal to a level that I refer to it as the ultimate spiritual guide into good life. I always view it as an all-round form of education where a Christian can learn from the Quran, a Muslim can learn from the Bible, even a Buddhist can also learn from these other religions. And so, if you are of a different religion, just stay with me. You'll also get something useful for you. I laid my hands this morning in the book of Genesis chapter 11. And as I read it, it took me back to the story of the Tower of Babel. This verse says that at the beginning of times, human beings spoke one language. One language. All the human beings, all over, they literally spoke one language. This simply means that it was very easy for them to communicate. Whenever they would sit down to have some subtle discussion, which was of benefit to the whole community or the whole nation or the whole world, whichever the population they were, it was easy for them to communicate. They would have very few contradictions or conflicts here and there. And in case they had, it would be easier again to solve them because they spoke one language. Then the scripture goes on to tell us that these people sat down. I guess they had a meeting, and then they said, let us come together, pull up some building materials, and build a great tower for ourselves. They had three motives for building this great tower. One, they wanted to come and stay together so that they don't scatter all over the world. Put a pin on that. We'll come back to that point. Two, they wanted that tower to be as tall as possible so that it could reach heaven, because they wanted to climb up to the heaven and see where God lives. And 3, they wanted to make good name for themselves. They wanted to feel great. Of course, just like any other human being, these people were also ego-driven. Everybody wants to feel great. And it was inside their minds that when they finished building this tower, they would feel great for themselves. The meeting was adjourned, and the agenda was do as we agreed. Pull together the materials, and let us start building, which they did. They continued, and then the scripture tells us that at some point in time, God said from heaven, I guess he was talking to the angels, because it says, he said, let us go and see what the man is doing. So when they came down, they found out that these human beings were building the greatest tower that ever existed. And they were fundamentally going to make it possible to reach heaven. They were going to be successful. Then God said, see, they are united because they can speak one language, and so they can do anything. Let us divide them. Let us take out the essential use of one language from them so that they can be divided and scatter. Because if they continue like this, we will not be able to stop them from doing whatever they want to do. I guess God is such a divisive character. He has the agenda of divide and rule. The modern day politics, and even to our ancestors, we have seen most of those leaders use this tactic of divide and rule. I guess they copied it from God. So God succeeded in taking away the essential use of one single language from human beings. And from there, they all scattered because they could not speak one language anymore. A lot of disagreements began to come in because they were not united anymore. And this story left me questioning a lot of unanswered topics. Why did God have to stop human beings from speaking one language? Does it mean God is also a ruler, just like these other rulers we have in the world? They copy his strategy. Because God said, if these men continue speaking one language, then they will do anything, and we will not be able to stop them from doing whatever they want. It means God's intention was to continue controlling humans forever. Another point, or another question that I asked myself, this unity among human beings, the tribalism, the differences in religion, the difference in races, these are some of the reasons that humans are divided all over the world, disunited and fighting against each other. It is well depicted from the story of this Tower of Babel, when God said, see how they are united. They are speaking one language. So when you go out there and you see our leaders, say our politicians, divide us among tribal lines, you see our societies divide us among religious lines, you see the world over divide people among races. These are just tools that are used to incumbently fight human beings against each other and to manage to control them successfully. Let us now tone down to an individual human being. I want to say a person who has two divided opinions within himself It's like the human beings of Tower of Babel after God took away their language. Imagine you as a human being, if you can have the harmony of pulling your opinions into one single thought and then acting on it. It will be very easy. But once you have contradicting ideas within you, then it's very difficult for you to be harmonious, to make critical decisions for yourself, because you are like the Tower of Babel. You have divided opinions inside. So, fellow gentlemen, as you go out there today, try your best to be one within you. Of course, it is difficult to bring different human beings together so that they can speak one language again. But you as an individual, you have the power to harmonize your ideas, make it one, make it easy for yourself to gather all your ideas together and have one decision that will move you forward. Have a successful day. Go out there and win. Ciao.